And we are also live on Facebook.
Can I do a little dance? We do this little dance every Friday because we're so excited. We're finally live. There's no echo.
Yes.
We're here.
Knock on wood.
I know. Well, you guys, welcome everyone. Welcome. This is episode number 50 of Window Treatment Friday, the live edition. Hello, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Vita?
Good. We are going to share some of our installations lately with you. It's not any like specific topic like hardware or blinds or shutters or draperies. We're just going to share what's been going on in our lives lately. Doesn't necessarily mean that these installs are out of this world or something totally unique, but just, we install 2 to 3 days a week. You guys install every day. So we just wanted to share some of the stuff that's been happening. So here we go.
Gina
Gina
says, she says, "Hi, ladies. The rehab center here."
How's Luann? Tell us.
Is she doing well? Give us a thumbs up, Gina, if Luann is doing well. Okay. So this project here, this was a project that we just installed this past week for Ellie Moreau's design for EMD. And what I wanted to show is kind of like a little bit of a before and after. So these are French doors that go out to the client's patio. And a lot of times some clients kind of want to like neglect the doors or feel like, do we really need a drapery on a door? How's it going to look? Is it really that necessary? So I wanted to show what it looked like before without anything. So this is the before and this is the after.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So this is simple pair of stationary panels. These panels are about a width and a half each panel. So meaning there's a width and a half of fabric in each. Just installed on a very slim, this is a 7/8 inch rod, stationary rod. So, and with this particular company, we don't need a lot of brackets given the expanse because of the bracket to bracket relation that we only need 3 brackets, it's just the 2 ends and a center support. So for me, I just wanted to showcase that, yes, sometimes on doors, is it always practical to have a window treatment, but it just finishes off the space.
It really does. What rod did you use? What company?
This is Helser Brothers.
Helser, of course. Yeah. So this is iron.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like it's heavy duty, and we use them a lot. So especially for their French returns, I love their French return rods. And what I love is because you're able to get these bracket to bracket expanses, like 72 inches. Without needing like multiple brackets. With a lesser expensive or lesser quality rod on something like this, you might have needed 5 brackets.
Yeah. That's exactly, you guys. That's what Kim's referring to. When you have a rod that is hollow inside or isn't sturdy or strong enough, you need support a lot more frequently than what she's saying here, every 72 inches. But usually it's about every 4 feet that you need a support. So especially for traversing drapes. Not that these are, but especially when you have functional drapes, you need to make sure that you support your rod.
But I have done upwards to 12 feet with just a center support. And so the bigger the diameter you go, the more supports, but that's a whole nother episode.
Yes, it is. Beautiful job here, girl.
Thank you.
All right, here we have 2 twin valances. We just installed those, and they are simple toppers. Just wanted to show these to you guys because these are, we call them relaxed mock Roman valances. So what mock Roman means is that it's kind of looking like a relaxed shade pulled all the way up, except that the shade refers to a functional treatment, whereas a valance refers to a stationary treatment. So anytime you have something stationary, it's a valance. Anytime you have something functional, it's a shade, Roman shade. So that's what we call these relaxed mock Roman. Mock meaning, kind of looking like a Roman. And this is it's kind of a staple for us. So I just wanted to show it to you because it's something that a lot of our designers use. It's a style that we
Mhm.
sew here in our workroom all the time. It's a safe style. It's pretty style. It has it's probably a little bit more on the feminine side than on the masculine side. It's great for bedrooms. It's great for kids' rooms. We've used it even in more formal areas too,
Mhm.
even though draperies is usually the way to go for more formal areas, but depending on the yardage available or the budget available, we've used this style in those more formal areas as well. So just wanted to show you what a real like staple looks like. There's several pleats at the bottom. We kind of made it pretty full to make it look like as if it were a Roman that got pulled up, and installed it just the other day, and the client loved it.
Yeah, I love that you went again all the way to the ceiling because we have no way of knowing where the window stops and starts. Now, I have a question. I think I know the answer to this question, but I just want to double check before are these valances black outlined?
Yes, they are.
See, that's
Yeah.
a good tip for everyone out there. I also, when I do a mock Roman valance, black out, depending on when it's appropriate, will black outline the valance so this way you don't see the halo of the window coming through.
Exactly. You don't see any of the business behind the
Nope.
valance because there's ladders sometimes happening or additional, things that happening in the back. There's also a weight bar or
Mm-hmm.
even like a piece of wood that goes behind it
Right.
so the pleats don't cave in and create kind of a trapezoidal effect. So that's back there. So there's lots of business happening in the background.
It's like when, Spanx. Everyone wears them under a dress, but we don't want to talk about it or see it.
And that's why we use black outlining.
Right.
And that's our standard, Kim, as it sounds like
Yeah.
it is for you as well.
Yeah.
Unless the designer is really adamant about using something more sheer or light filtering, and some really want to see all of
Yeah.
those shadow variations. I am not a fan personally, but I am here to tell you the consequences, to tell you the repercussions of your decisions, but ultimately the actual decision is the designer's.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Sometimes what we'll do is if it's just like a simple flat mock Roman with 3 folds at the bottom, like you wrap yours and create like the ears on the sides. Ours actually just looks like a Roman and we'll put like soft returns.
mhm.
What our workroom has done is, and per my request and like nagging, is like they'll use like a thin, yeah, because we need pickups. Like the folds need to stay there, and with gravity, we just can't have them on the ends. But they've
Yeah.
actually started using like fishing wire
Mhm.
and doing like
Mhm.
a clear fishing wire so that way on sheer mock
That's cool.
Romans we
Mhm.
can you're not seeing all the pickups and I mean we're still sewing very like clear rings and all that good stuff,
Yep.
but it is something very very thin so that way
Mhm.
you're not it's there but it's
And
not so
transparent.
obvious. Yeah.
Mhm. Right, especially on the sheer
Yeah.
balances.
Okay, so this is one of our installers, Luis. We just finished installing a pair of cornices and ripple fold drapes for Roseland Properties, or also it's a building that's managed by Roseland Properties, owned by Matt Calley. So this was done for the designer there, Joan Stableman, and this is in the theater room at one of their rental properties. And so with this, the challenge is blacking out the room because obviously if it's a theater room, it's Henley on the Hudson, so it's right on the water.
Mhm.
These windows do face the New York skyline, so it's a very pretty view. But when we are trying to black out the quote unquote theater room, there are challenges that come with it. So it's coming up with the concept of what's the best treatment so that we can maximize their view, but then also black it out when, their residents want to go in and use the movie theater room. So
Nice.
this is an example of Luis installing the drapes under the cornice.
I'm like, where's his head? Oh, it's
Yeah,
under the
it's
cornice.
underneath. And so this is the progress and the next, and that is the finished product. Now, what you don't see here, because the chairs, the club chairs, are in front of the drapes, we actually made it, even though we kind of broke the quote unquote rule of an operable drape. Typically with an operable drape, we have it, off the floor about a half inch to 3/4 of an inch. So that way the drape can move easily and, there's not an issue. But for these, because it is a theater room, we have the drapes on the floor about 1.5 inches so that they do puddle and bend so that there isn't any kind of light bleed that comes through the bottom because the windows do go all the way down to the ground. So yes. Okay. So in full disclosure, this is the 3rd time we've done this. They've redesigned the room. This has been a long-standing account of Window Works. Luann has been working with them for over 20 years, and now I have the privilege of getting to work with them. And so we basically just copied exactly what we did the last time because that seemed to really work and really help with the light.
Nice. Beautifully done.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, next, this is a project that we did for our designer here in the Philadelphia area. The name of the firm is Z Domus Designs, and the owner is Rose Zeffirino. We do quite a few projects for her, and this is the one that we just installed yesterday. So I'm like, why not?
Nice. I'm pulling
pictures together. I'm like, this is a pretty one. It was funny. She texted me late last night, and she's like, Vida. I'm like, what? She's like, I love my drapes because these happen to be for her personal house too.
Oh, great.
So anyway, so what you're seeing here, these are not quite 2-story drapes. They're not, that 2-story family rooms that we often see, but I believe they're at about like 140 inches or so. There's a high window. There's also that half round window, and then you have those sloping ceilings. And we had to measure just so that we can go above the half round and also take the rod all the way out to as close to the sloping ceiling as we can. And the fabric that we used was kind of like a sheerish sort of, not a sheer fabric, but sort of had the sheerish effect. So we used the light filtering lining there. These are stationary drapes with pleats at the top. I believe this was 1.5 widths each on rods and rings in a very popular satin gold finish nowadays.
Oh,
that is on backwater all the time. So I don't know if you're experiencing that, but satin gold seems to be on backwater quite a bit.
Oh, yes, it is. I know that one of the vendors that I use, sorry, everybody, I did a bunch of ordering and I backstocked all the gold.
Oh, great. So you're creating the back orders. Thank you very much.
Well, for one vendor, like I was doing all the orders and then I got to another order and put in the quantity that I needed. And they're like, oh, we are officially out of stock. And I was like, okay, that was my fault because I just placed like 7 orders. Hey, you know what? You got to give the people what they want.
That's all right. That's all right. I understand.
Okay, so this is another project that we also just did for Matt Cali again, but this is for their commercial division. And this is for Porter Restaurant. It's a new restaurant that opened in Weehawken on the waterfront. So they are, it's a really great restaurant. It's a like wine bar, bakery. I know a couple people who live on the waterfront that have visited this restaurant and say that it's great. So what we're showing you here is they have like a private dining area that they wanted to close off with a drape. So, and what was cool with the design of the actual space was they didn't close up the ceiling. They left all the like HVAC open, and just to kind of make the space feel taller, but that proposed a little bit of an issue as to like, where am I putting my rod, folks?
Right.
So yeah, I was like, that's all great, but we need to I need to anchor it to something. So they built a metal support that went across the entire width of the restaurant. So at first, when I first saw it, I was like, are we sure that my drape is it's going to be able to support the weight? And then I saw that on the same type of supports, they had all their lighting and other things. So it's like, okay, if these large light fixtures that look pretty heavy could be held up by these supports, then my drape, that's just an unlined sheer, they could support it. So that's it in the closed position. So what's cool about this, it's a ripple fold. It's installed on a non-decorative Kirsch rod in black because, again, the ceiling was painted like a very dark charcoal gray. So I didn't want to put like a white rod going across because it would, to me, it would have ruined the whole look and the vibe of the ceiling. Like, you went through all this effort to paint all the HVAC and really make it this like really cool dark color. So to put a white rod going across. So I suggested to the designer and the restaurant owner that we go with a black rod, even though we're going with a cream drape. And they love that idea. The panel, again, we have 2 lead carriers on either end. So depending on how they want the panel to stack, it could either go to the left or to the right. And because of that, because the owner of the restaurant wanted that flexibility, we did have to go with baton draw. So, and these drapes are pretty tall. So I was like, are you sure? Because you are a little short. And so, but I was able to find batons that were 84 inches. So through a lot of digging around, sturdy metal batons, not the clear acrylic, because the clear acrylic, once you pass 60 inches, trying to drag something that's like 120 by 120, it's a lot of weight. So,
and they tend to bend, actually. They don't really hold their shape.
No. So we went with just a simple satin nickel because we wanted it to blend, something that was close to the color of the drape. And for this, unlike the other project where we had the drapes on the floor, because this is a restaurant, I did cut the length by it's about like 1.5 inches to 2 inches off the ground, just for, you don't want the drapes to act like a broom and go back and forth. And then especially with cleaning and things like that, when they have to mop the floor, it just makes it a lot easier to do it that way.
Nicely done. You know, this is so interesting because a few years ago, we did a project that is almost identical to what you're showing here. It was also a restaurant. It's in Villanova. And it was a long haul like that. They wanted to cut it in half for private parties. We also had nowhere to mount it. They had to create a beam. We had it going from wall to wall just like that, except one exception. Ours was incredibly heavy. They wanted it double-sided. So it was very heavy linen poly blend, very heavy. I think we measured it. It was like some over 100 pounds for the entire drape. So that was a very interesting project. I think I featured it maybe even a couple of times. I remember for when we did Ripple Fold, I think I may have featured it then.
Yeah.
Beautifully done, Kim. I know what goes into these types of projects.
Yes.
Nicely done. So this is a project that we recently did for a designer, a local designer, actually New Jersey, South Jersey based. His name is Michael Preston of Michael Preston Interiors. And this is a project. We did several rooms for him. This was in the kitchen dining area, large window, wide window. It has a shade already, had an existing shade. So we just added stationary draperies, again, on a satin gold rod, because that's the finish that's in stock. That's the one that Kim's buying out.
Sorry, everybody.
And these are 1.5 widths, really cool Tebow fabric that really makes a statement here. Very cool dark blue, like cobalt blue chairs, and the fabric has a lot of blue and white in it, and it was just a kind of easy peasy for us. We do these things all the time. 1.5 widths, rod rings, but it's incredible how much it changes the room. Imagine this. I should have had a before picture, but imagine this without these drapes, and it looks drab, it looks empty, it just doesn't look finished. And so draperies add such a finishing effect.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we did that whole WTF live on honeycomb shades, where it's like they serve their purpose, but they're not the superstar. It doesn't look finished. I see that the shade or the window next to it is a top down, bottom up. Is that bigger one a top down, bottom up?
On the right, you mean?
Yeah.
No, that's a smaller shade.
That's a
smaller window.
No, I know that, but I'm saying it's top down, bottom up, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so is the bigger one also top down, bottom up, or you don't know? No. Well, because the whole thing is like a honeycomb shade is there for function, not really so much like pretty. So you need to add the pretty. It's like what we showed at the top of the video, and now just a simple pair of stationary 1.5 width panels just finishes it off like that.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, this completes our presentation for today, you guys. It was nice and easy, a quick one. Just wanted to give you a kind of an inside look behind the curtain of some of the installs that we've been doing lately.
Yes, and no technical difficulties. So yay us.
Amazing.
Even the setup, because you guys have no idea, the lead up to the live, sometimes we are like, is this going to happen today? So it all just kind of, the stars align for us today. So it's
Yay.
great. So
Sometimes it happens.
yeah. So before we go, we do have a couple of free goodies that we want to let you be aware of. So for us on WindowWorks, we have Architectural Digest isn't coming, 10 things you need to know about window treatments. Luann wrote this ebook a couple years ago. So if you're new to window treatments, it's kind of like a window treatment 101. And so you can get all the basics there. So just head on over to our website and download your free copy.
Awesome. And from Vitalia Inc., we have a free gift. It's a free lookbook filled with inspiration, education. It's called 37 and a half window treatment ideas that you can use immediately, swipe, steal, and make your own. So head on over to vitaliainc.com and claim your gift.
And to keep up with everything going on in the podcast world, be sure to follow Luann at Luann Nigara. If you want to listen to the audio version of WTF, Window Treatment Friday, head on over to Luann's website and you can hit the podcast tab and you can search WTF, and all the episodes that Luann and Vita have recorded are right there on the website.
I'll go. I'll take it on. So you guys, before we let you go, just wanted to leave our contact information for you. Like I said before, our website is vitaliainc.com. You can get a whole lot of information there, lots of free resources, lots of really good stuff if you want to learn more about window treatments. But if you have an actual project that you need help with, that you need support on, please call me, email me, DM, PM. Vitalia Inc. is the one-stop shop, your comprehensive measurement, installation, fabrication, and project management company. We work based out of the Philadelphia area, and we would love to support you on whatever you have going on.
And to keep up with WindowWorks, be sure to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at WindowWorks. If you are in the New Jersey or New York area and you have a window treatment or awning project that you would like some assistance on, we take all the guesswork out for you. So please head on over and send us an email or a DM.
And I'm so glad, Gina, that Luann is doing well. That's awesome. Yes. Amazing. Yay. All right, I think that concludes our show for today. Join us here every Friday at 12 o'clock on Instagram Live or Facebook Live, because if it's Friday,
it's WTF Live every Friday at 12 o'clock. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.